Have you ever thought about getting remarried, but wondered if you're making the right choice? Marriage later in life is a completely different experience than when you were younger, and there are some truths that people often overlook until it's too late. Whether you've been single for a while, recently divorced, or even widowed, remarriage comes with unique challenges that can affect your finances, relationships, and overall happiness in ways you may not have considered. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 essential truths that you need to know before remarrying after 60. These insights might just change how you view love, commitment, and long-term security at this stage in your life. Too often, people rush into remarriage without thinking about how it could impact their future, and later they find themselves dealing with unexpected stress and complications. But when you have the right knowledge, you can make the best decision for yourself, one that brings fulfillment, peace, and stability. Stay tuned until the end, because understanding these 5 truths could help you avoid unnecessary heartache and ensure that any new relationship you enter is truly right for you, whether you're considering remarrying soon or just exploring the possibility. Number 1, financial realities change after 60. One of the first, and perhaps most significant truths to understand about remarrying later in life is that financial realities change as we grow older. In our younger years, we often dream of building a future together without fully realizing the many layers of financial planning that come with marriage. But later in life, when our routines are established and our financial habits are set, entering into a new marriage can bring both unexpected benefits and challenges. For instance, consider Robert, a 72-year-old gentleman who once lost his partner to time but then found love again. Robert always assumed that his children would inherit his carefully saved estate. However, after remarrying, he discovered that his new wife had legal rights to his assets, a legal twist that altered his original plans. His story isn't unique. Many older adults face similar financial crossroads when considering remarriage. Social security benefits, pension rights, and even tax implications can shift, sometimes dramatically. In fact, statistics show that nearly 40% of older adults express concern about how a new marriage might affect their retirement income, underscoring the need for careful planning. This is where life lessons from the elderly come in handy. Those of us who have weathered many storms have learned the importance of consulting with trusted financial advisors or estate planners. We've seen firsthand how a little foresight can preserve one's financial security. For example, a friend of mine, Helen, had spent decades saving for retirement. Before remarrying, she sat down with a financial advisor who helped her rework her estate plan. This conversation not only ensured that her assets would be managed according to her wishes, but also brought a sense of relief and empowerment. When thinking about financial matters, it's essential to remember that every dollar and every asset has a story. These aren't just numbers on a balance sheet. They represent years of hard work, sacrifices, and dreams. By addressing these issues head-on, you protect not only your financial future, but also the legacy you've built over time. In the midst of these changes, it can also be helpful to create moments that bring the old and new together. Simple gestures like sharing a favorite family recipe at a gathering or recounting cherished stories from the early days. These bridges between past and present honor the history that made you who you are, while inviting your new partner to step gently into the family's treasured quilt. Alongside compassion and understanding, small rituals and shared experiences can soften uncertainty and gradually build trust. Ultimately, as your family grows through each layer of challenge and adjustment, it can emerge stronger, bound by love, respect, and the comforting knowledge that each chapter contributes its own patch of warmth. Take a moment and think back. What financial decision in your past, big or small, turned out to be a turning point in your life? How did that experience shape your perspective on security and planning for the future? Number 2, family dynamics can get complicated. Our families are our history. They carry the echoes of laughter, the lessons of love, and sometimes the shadows of past conflicts. When remarrying later in life, we're not just blending two lives, we're blending families, traditions, and sometimes even generations. This is a complex process, but one that, with open hearts and clear communication, can lead to even richer, more meaningful relationships. Take the story of Susan, a 68-year-old woman who had spent many years as a single mother and grandmother. When she decided to remarry, she anticipated joy and companionship, yet she soon discovered that her children and grandchildren were having a hard time accepting her new partner. They felt torn between cherishing the memory of the past and embracing the future. Susan's children worried about changes in family traditions and even the way inheritance might be affected. These are natural feelings, as our families hold our histories in the deepest parts of our hearts. In many ways, our families are like well-loved quilts, stitched together over time with patches of memories, some bright and some faded. When you introduce a new piece into that quilt, it may feel like it disrupts the pattern, even if it eventually adds a new dimension of warmth and comfort. In dealing with these sensitive issues, many of us have turned to life lessons from the elderly, learning that patience, empathy, and open dialogue are key. Conversations that honor everyone's feelings can help smooth the transition. For example, when Susan organized a family meeting to discuss her plans, she allowed each member to voice their concerns and hopes. In doing so, she paved the way for understanding and gradual acceptance. Family dynamics in later life can indeed be intricate. Adult children especially may need time to reconcile their memories of a parent with the idea of a new partner. Similarly, the new spouse may feel like an outsider in a well-established family unit. These situations call for gentle adjustments and, above all, respect for the past while embracing the future. If you're still here, thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If today's message touched something true in your life, just comment number 2 so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's next. This channel is a gentle space where experience matters, kindness is shared, and growing older means something. I'm truly grateful you're here. Number 3. Emotional expectations are different at this stage in life. As the years pass, our emotional landscapes evolve. The energy we once invested in building families and careers now shifts towards savoring the beauty of companionship, personal freedom, and inner contentment. Remarrying later in life means stepping into a new chapter where emotional expectations are different and often more nuanced. Let's consider Harold's journey. At 75, Harold found love again after many years of loneliness following the loss of his dear spouse. However, he quickly discovered that his new relationship was unlike any he had experienced before. His late wife had been his partner for decades, sharing routines, deep understandings, and even silent conversations that only years together can nurture. In contrast, his new partner valued her independence fiercely, cherishing her own space and hobbies. Their challenge was finding a balance between closeness and personal autonomy, a dance of give and take that required patience and honest communication. This evolving emotional dynamic is something many of us face. When you've spent years being self-sufficient, the idea of merging your daily habits with someone else's can be both exciting and intimidating. It's important to recognize that you are not losing yourself. Instead, you're inviting someone new to share in the rich tapestry of your life. Many have found that revisiting life lessons from the elderly reveals that true companionship doesn't mean sacrificing your identity. Instead, it's about enhancing the joy of your journey with someone who respects your individuality. In fact, studies show that older couples who maintain distinct personal interests while nurturing their relationship report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. Embracing these differences can lead to a partnership that's as robust and dynamic as the years behind you. In our conversations and personal journeys, we learn that sharing life doesn't require merging every aspect of our identity. Rather, it invites us to celebrate our uniqueness together. Yet this process may take time and open-hearted communication. Some days you'll find yourself missing the familiar rhythms of your old life, while on other days you'll revel in the excitement of exploring new routines alongside your partner. Both are natural responses to a fresh chapter of love and companionship. It can help to think of this stage as a gentle unfolding. Each day offers opportunities to discover strengths, share laughter, and create memories. Perhaps Harold and his partner started having weekly quiet mornings, or took turns choosing a shared activity. Small gestures that honor individual preferences while building common ground. In doing so, they gradually formed a renewed sense of togetherness, one that allows space for both independence and a deeply meaningful bond. Think about a time when you had to adjust to a new way of living or shift an old habit. What did that experience teach you about the balance between change and preserving what makes you uniquely you? Number 4, legal considerations matter more than you think. When we talk about remarrying later in life, we're not just talking about matters of the heart. We're also talking about the practical aspects that protect our hard-earned lives. Marriage is, after all, a legal contract as well as an emotional union. The legal intricacies can seem daunting, but they are a crucial part of ensuring that your later years remain secure, dignified, and true to your wishes. Consider Eleanor's experience. At 67, Eleanor was a woman who had built a life full of accomplishments, community involvement, and deep personal relationships. When she met someone special and decided to remarry, she was acutely aware of the need to protect her assets and her legacy. With the help of a knowledgeable attorney, she drafted a prenuptial agreement that clarified the financial boundaries between her and her new partner. This agreement wasn't a sign of mistrust. Rather, it was a thoughtful, preemptive step designed to honor her past, secure her future, and reassure her children that her life's work would be respected. Legal considerations include more than just prenuptial agreements. They span issues such as updating your will, revising your estate plan, and even setting up advanced medical directives. For many older adults, these decisions might seem overwhelming. However, by approaching them with the same care and diligence you've applied throughout your life, you ensure that every decision reflects your values. Here, life lessons from the elderly teach us that proactive planning is a gift you give not only to yourself but also to those you love. This foresight provides peace of mind, knowing that your wishes will be honored when you're no longer able to speak for yourself. Navigating legal matters might not be the most romantic part of planning a remarriage, but it's undoubtedly one of the most important. By taking the time to consult with legal experts, you can secure a future that protects your legacy, your relationships, and your peace of mind. If you're still here, thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If today's message touched something true in your life, just comment number 4 so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's next. This channel is a gentle space where experience matters, kindness is shared, and growing older means something. I'm truly grateful you're here. Number 5, the definition of happiness changes with age. As we get older, our understanding of happiness shifts. In our younger years, marriage often symbolizes building a future, raising a family, establishing financial security, or creating a shared life from the ground up. But after 60, happiness is no longer about building, it's about maintaining, enjoying, and finding fulfillment in the life you've already created. Before you remarry, it's essential to ask yourself, does this relationship align with the kind of happiness you truly want at this stage of life? Many people assume that getting married again will automatically bring them joy, but the truth is that happiness in later years comes from different sources than it once did. For some, it's about companionship and sharing daily life with someone. For others, it's about maintaining independence while having a partner for special moments. And for some, it's about preserving their lifestyle without having to compromise long-standing routines and habits. One of the biggest mistakes people make when remarrying after 60 is assuming that love alone will solve loneliness. While companionship is a beautiful thing, it's important to recognize that personal fulfillment comes from within. Entering a marriage with the expectation that it will complete you can lead to disappointment, especially if the realities of sharing your life with someone feel more restrictive than you expected. Another thing to consider is lifestyle compatibility. At this stage in life, you likely have well-established routines. How you spend your mornings, how you like to travel, even how you manage your social life. If your new partner has a drastically different way of living, it could create friction rather than happiness. Some people are more spontaneous, while others prefer structure. Some enjoy quiet evenings at home, while others thrive in social settings. If you and your potential spouse aren't aligned in these ways, it's worth thinking about how much you're willing to adjust and whether those adjustments would ultimately make you happier. Take Frank, for example, at 72. He met someone wonderful and quickly remarried, believing that companionship would fill the void of his previous marriage. But as time went on, he realized that his new wife had very different expectations. She wanted to travel frequently, while he preferred staying close to home. She was highly social, while he cherished quiet time. While they cared for each other, they struggled to find common ground, and Frank often felt like he had lost some of the freedom and comfort he had valued during his single years. Before you remarry, take time to reflect on what truly makes you happy. Do you want a traditional marriage where you share everything? Or would you prefer companionship with personal space? Would you be happier living separately while maintaining a committed relationship? There is no right or wrong answer, only what feels right for you. The most important thing is to ensure that any decision you make supports your long-term happiness rather than disrupting the peace and fulfillment you've already built in your life. Final thoughts. As we wrap up today's conversation, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on all we've discussed. Remarrying after 60 can indeed be a beautiful, fulfilling journey, but it is also a decision layered with important realities that many of us may overlook until we're already in the midst of change. Consider the many dimensions that come with this step. From the practical aspects of managing finances and legal details, to the more delicate nuances of family dynamics and emotional expectations, every part of this decision deserves careful thought. At this stage in life, marriage isn't about following traditional paths. It's about making a choice that genuinely serves your heart and well-being. Many of us have learned through our own experiences and the life lessons from the elderly that true fulfillment often comes not from conforming to what others expect, but from embracing the choices that honor who we are. Some find deep joy in remarrying, discovering a new chapter filled with companionship and shared adventures. Others cherish their independence, finding happiness in alternative forms of connection and community. What matters most is that the path you choose reflects your values, your lifestyle, and the vision you hold for your future. As you consider these thoughts, remember that there is no need to rush. Take the time to have meaningful conversations with your loved ones, to seek wise counsel from trusted financial and legal advisors, and most importantly, to listen to the quiet wisdom within your own heart. Life has taught us that true happiness comes from honoring our own needs and dreams, not from what society prescribes. Thank you for spending this time with us. I warmly invite you to share a thought or a lesson that has resonated with you today. Your insights are as precious as your life experiences. Every comment, every shared memory enriches our community and reminds us all that we are never alone on this journey. If you found today's message helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with others who might appreciate this gentle reminder of life's enduring wisdom. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs, inspires, and uplifts. As you go forward, remember these words. In the tapestry of life, each thread is a memory, and every moment weaves a story of love and wisdom.